Hi, everybody. Let's see. Oh, wait, I want to take that off. Hi, everyone. So, if you're watching this on YouTube, this is a live session on Facebook, which I will save and upload to YouTube when I'm finished. I don't see comments. Not that I need to, but oh wait, I see it. Okay. So, give me 1 second, guys. I don't know. Okay, so it is showing up. Sorry, guys. I don't like to waste time either. So, anyway, how's everybody tonight? I can't say that I feel, I don't know what the word is, settled with this whole thing, and I'm going to explain why. Generally, after a case, when the body is found, the loved one is found, and the person responsible is in jail, my spirit will settle. It doesn't mean that it doesn't tune into certain things, but it just settles in a certain way, and it's not settled. Yesterday, all day long, I kept hearing that song, the Rescue Song by Lauren Daigle. And then this morning, it was the craziest thing. It literally was in my head as soon as I woke up playing. So, I think that there's been a separation of some kind between her and her baby. That's my overwhelming feeling. And I didn't know how else to say it, but I think that her focus, and all my hairs are going up again, is she wants to make sure that they're together, is my feeling. And I could be way off, but I just get that overwhelming feeling. I don't think that she was murdered at the house. I think that I feel that he took her somewhere. And I don't really know, or I'm not putting together what premise that was. But I think it was outside of Greg, where Greg lived. So I don't believe any of his story, really. I mean, I think he's covering up for somebody. And what I mean by that is not that anybody else did anything to cause Kylie's death. I think that somebody helped him after, and I think that he's trying to protect that person is what I think. And I think if the story is framed around that premise, then it makes more sense. And also, I think that he chased her. And she tripped and fell over a rock or something. But she didn't hit her head. And I think that he hit her onto the rock. I'm trying to be as, and that's why you can hear it in my voice, because I want to get the message across, but I'm trying to be sensitive to how it might be received. So I think it's somewhere near the fire tower. That's where my brain keeps going back to. I think he chased her. Like, I think she knew what he was going to do. I get the feeling that when she sent that text, that, I don't know, the way he was behaving and the way he was like, come on, let's go, just seemed ominous. I just get that she's nervous, very nervous. She doesn't know what's going to happen. And there's something about the coldness, I think, in the way that he does it. Because I think he planned it. I really think he planned it. Like it needs to be premeditated. He needs to be charged with premeditated murder. He planned it. He chased her into the woods. And I'm not positive that the stab wounds didn't happen after the fact. I still haven't placed that completely, and I don't know if it's my block about how disgusting of an act it is all together. Just so I think he left her there. I think he pulled her into the woods more and covered her with brush or something. Then he went back to the house like it was nothing. And somehow he employed a male to go get her and bring her back to the house. I feel like where the dogs hit on the opposite side of the driveway, it's not a driveway, it's like a long dirt road. Where is where they got out with her. And then I think and I don't know why I feel like this, but I think it's partly to cover up or try to cover up what he did. Because of several different reasons, how disgusting of an act it was. And I'm talking about chasing her into the woods. I mean, it's all disgusting, but I'm saying that part of it. Like, it makes me feel like she's being hunted. Chased her into the woods. And because if that's the truth, then somebody had to help him bring her back. And he's protecting somebody. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure why I feel like there's post-mortem stuff too, okay? But I feel like it's to cover up what he actually did. And I also feel like there's a separation. I'm not hearing that song anymore once I said that. I've been hearing it, you don't even know. Over and over. I can't stop singing it. There's some sort of separation. Either wherever he left her, natural bodily processes happen post-mortem, and whether he left that there, I feel like he may have put something into something, like a jewelry box looking like thing. Either like a golden color or a light tan color or something like that. It's giving me a headache. And that's the other thing, like, one of the very first things that she said to me when somebody messaged me, like, have you heard of this case? She said, my head is killing me. And again today, when I was going over things, because I've been going over things, because this is something that I normally in this exact situation, I normally, let's say, wouldn't address it. But as a real mom, I feel like I need to. Oh, all my hairs are standing up. Because I feel like he did this on purpose. If there's a separation, I feel like he did it on purpose. As a final, what he thinks is a final, if that makes sense. I don't know why. And I would not be surprised if he did some sociopathic shit and buried it, like at a cemetery or something. I don't know, so he could visit it. I'm not sure how it all fits in. Or if there's on the property a little shrine next to the bridge or something. I just know that there's 3 crime scenes. There's three crime scenes. And the first one, I feel like, is near the fire tower. And I could be wrong, but the point being is there's 3. And the first one was not, well, technically it started at the house. So he was already violent towards her at the house, but it didn't cause injury that would leave blood or anything like that. She said that he went from flipping out to all of a sudden completely quiet. It was the way he was acting. He went in the house, the big house, the big house. Yeah, he is going in the big house, but the main house there. I think is there an outside door that slams or something? You know, it doesn't shut quietly, is my feeling. And he said, let's go. And he didn't even look at her. Where are we going? For a walk. So I think when he stopped raging in the shed, he just stopped. And he said, I gotta go in the house, or I gotta go to the bathroom or something. But it was the way that he switched. And I feel like all the digital evidence will add up to that. But that's why the dogs didn't hit when they first went, because she wasn't there. But he planned it. Premeditation is premeditation, period. He planned it. I think he also burned, well, I know he burned evidence because that's confirmed, but I said it in the first video, but I think he burned evidence away from the property as well. I don't know, there was like a plan with whoever helped him move the body back. Like they thought they were slick, like they had extra clothes and everything. That's my feeling. All my hairs are standing up. Like, I don't know, I just think it's, I don't even know what to say about it, but he's trying to protect that person. It's not going to work. Too many holes, and it only takes backtracking once you know when it happened, because it did happen on the 6th. I want to say it was like 10:30-ish. Oh, shit. Like the time I just went on, it was 10:22. I do weird stuff. I don't know. Well, I like weird, but you get my point. I just watch what happens, my mannerisms, everything. So, about that same time, he didn't get back to the house till like midnight, though. And sometime around the 11th, he brought her back. Is that a Sunday? Sunday, Monday, she said, I think. So 11th to the 12th, overnight. They dug the hole first. Like they had a whole plan to try to execute it. Boom, 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 boom. How many booms did I do? 5 steps. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, 5. Now that I got that out, I might be able to breathe for a second. I just was like, how am I going to say this? But I can't not, because I so understand, and this is the other thing. I'm very technical when I do things, when I do work. I'm like the divine scientist, so I kept calling it a fetus, and I kept feeling bad. And I'm like, why am I feeling bad? And then I really sat down with it. I'm like, it's because it's her baby. Oh, my hairs again. Oh. And then the mother pipes in. I get the same feeling from that mom as being a real mom feeling. And if it was me, and the situation was the same, I'd be coming for my baby too. It doesn't matter if there it's okay. Because here, for her, Kylee, that's not okay. That's my feeling. And I could be totally wrong about that, or putting it together wrong. But I can't explain to you how many times my hairs have stood up, because I will, you know me, smack it, flip it, rub it down every which way, pendulum, whatever I got to do, meditation. Like, is this the right thing? Because it's like that. I knew it was the right thing. Maybe it's just the realization that there's people out there that just literally have no soul. And I say this and I tell people that's true, But every time it happens, it's like a, I don't know. You know, it's one thing to be rageful and don't take... There's crimes of passion and, you know, rage killings and things like that. This does not come across to me like that. It does as far as rage goes, but there's a calculated element to it that makes it more than that. And my feeling is that her baby is a boy. And I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm usually sure. I am sure about it. But I don't know. I don't know how much to say and not say, if that makes sense. But I feel like it needs to be said. I feel like the police already know. The circle's closing in. 3 days, 3 hours, 3 days, not 3 weeks, they said, which usually, if you guys, my clients know. My numbers are ridiculously on point, but sometimes the time frame, like I want it to be 3 weeks ago, before it happened, so we can just, you know, take care of the problem. But anyway, so my empathy will ride on that sometimes, depending on what the situation is. And in this case, I want it to be in 3 minutes. That would be dandy. But she wants her baby with her. Because I feel like, and not because, not to discount that she's a real mom. I get that energy from her. She would have been a fabulous mom. Even if she was just figuring herself out, I promise you, I can feel it from her. She wanted that to be the main focus. And I think if other intuitives take that idea and the fact that I do not think she was killed at that house, I think she was lured out, that it makes more sense. Yeah, but I just don't think it was a girl. I think it was, I'm pretty sure it was a boy. And then I even asked the pendulum. And then I even said, you know what? Because these cards love me, and I said about the tools. So I said, give me a depiction of what the baby would be. And the first one was blue thing in the middle, but it, you know me, I like to be extra cautious. And there was only a little bit of blue. I was like, okay, well, give me another one of a depiction. And it was a guy on a card. I mean, I'm not going to get around that, even if he had a pink shirt on. Do you get what I'm saying? So, no, I think it's a boy. And I feel like, I don't know. I feel like he did it on purpose. That's my feeling. Oh, well, wait, let me, because I heard that in my head. Yeah, I'm not talking about the murder. I'm saying I feel like there's a separation from her and the baby. I almost said fetus because I'm trying to be clinical. I don't know. I'm like that, though. But it's her baby. And I think that she wants that to be the focus. Let me see. So there's probably some more key points, but that one was so heavy all day that it took me all this time, and you never know. I mean, could have been really 3 minutes, and somebody will be like, I don't know. You get my point. Uh, I just, I hope they figure it out. And I think they will. I don't mean the scenario, or I just feel like there's that separation, and I'm not sure why. Again, maybe wherever it happened, because of those bodily processes, it was left there, and that it left there on purpose. I just think it was enough to notice. I can't imagine. There's a lot of things that happen with bodily functions. It's just the way the body, it just shuts down, and so it expels everything. So I can't imagine at 11 weeks, because I had a miscarriage at, I think it was 11 weeks, 12 weeks, 10, 11, 12, something like that. And it was way more than I thought it was going to be. It was traumatic. So I can't, I don't know. I just get that feeling, and I don't want, I just want, if that's the case, I want, and it's not even about me. Well, you know what? I do want it. I'm a real mom, and I get it. Like, what? No, absolutely not. Like, you don't get to do that. You don't get to take, no. Then if that's her final, you know what I mean? Mm-mm. So they need to find that baby, if the baby is not with her. But I just get that feeling. And I think between phone records, Ring cameras, like there's a neighbor that saw them walking in the pitch black at 9:30 at night on August 6th. Got to put a timeline together. Not that they haven't. I'm saying I'm talking my way through it, which is what takes me so long sometimes, because the logic in me is so strong that it wants to make sure but everything was pre-planned. So he literally thought, I'm going to take her for a walk and just beat the... And I think that the cause of death after the autopsy, or the, I don't know if it's manner or cause, will be strangulation and blunt force trauma to the head. I think what he was trying to do I'm not sure what he was trying to do. I don't know if he planned on doing something again after he brought her back to the house, and I think maybe cut her for some reason. I don't know why. I just don't see that he stabbed her twice in the neck and once in the chest. And those dogs went to that house and didn't bark the first time. That's ridiculous. They walk the perimeter. It makes no sense. It makes no sense at all, but what does make sense is exactly what I told you. A rough outline. And I feel like whoever did it helped him. He was pressured into it. And I said that in the first video. And I still feel that. Doesn't excuse the behavior at all. You don't get a smidge of sympathy from me. But that's what I think it was. He pressured him to do it. I would do it for you. I didn't want to hear that conversation at all. Anyway, I feel like this might be the last video that I do for Kylee, and not because I'm not ready, willing, able, and accurate. It's because I just feel like it's going to come out. I think it's already on its way, to be honest with you. I just feel like that little piece is her main focus is that little piece. And it's crazy because there were other readers, I guess. Supposedly a lot of them said water. I'm like, I don't think she's in the water. But maybe, and I did think this, that she hasn't left her baby. And that's her, oh, my hairs again. All of them. It's so intense, it's insane. Do I have a tank? Of course, it's not that warm in here, so I feel like but it's like waves, all of them, my legs, everything. What the hell was I saying? I just feel like that's her focus. And she's not going to stop until she gets it. She's not. Anyway, you guys, let's just hope that everything comes out soon, and I think it will. Like in 3 days. What the heck's today? Thursday, but it's almost Friday. Okay. Hopefully it was 3 minutes ago. 3 hours ago. Do you guys have any questions? There's other stuff I wanted to cover too, but that was so prevalent all day and all day yesterday that and I'm like, how am I going to say this? I'm like, it's not that, I think I would have had an easier time, not that any of it even should be classified like that, but if it was left there out of, I don't know, ignorance or but I just get that feeling it's done on purpose, and that makes me angry. As a real mom, and here go the hairs again, I just get that feeling. So I could be wrong. It could be a translation, miscalculation where he did it to, it's not that. It's not. So I'm not even going to go into that because this case is, He planned it. The whole thing. He didn't plan it like, oh, if she comes to my house, this is what I'm going to do. No, no, no. He decided in a split second. And in that split second, it didn't matter to fight or argue with her anymore. All that mattered was he had a plan and he was going to execute that plan. That's it. I feel like he also waited till people saw him on that street. Oh, my hair's again. Like doing it on purpose for an alibi type thing. I don't know what the purpose would be of post-mortem. I'm not sure. And it might be because I can't wrap my head around people that do just disgusting things. Just vile, evil, senseless things. So I feel like it has something to do with covering up what he did. He may have had a plan to move her again, and it just never happened. I think he did. I think he thought he was playing chess with the police or some shit. And that's what I think. Like, yeah, we're going to get a camping spot at the reservoir. Then they go to the reservoir. And then he's taunting other people to poke to see what they might know or if they figured it out. Whoever he said that in front of, that's what he was doing. He was fishing for information. And also taunting like saying, oh, what do you think, I dragged her all the way to the reservoir? In his head, he's like, yeah, bitch. Little do you know, I fucking chased her in the, being, that's not the right word. Snide about it, you know? Like it's a fucking joke or something. And I mean, in his mind, he's like, yeah, little do you know, I type thing. I'm not sure why he would do that, though. I don't know why. Because this is the thing. If it happened on the 6th, in back of the shed, like he said, right? And then he left her out all night and threw her in a hole. Those dogs would have went berserk. Because I can't imagine, oh, he dug the hole first, right? Right. But said he dragged her. He dragged her. I just don't know how the dogs would miss that. I'm saying. I just don't know. It doesn't take that long. I think it's a couple hours. He would have had a couple hours, right? And it was still hot then. I mean, it's not that hot. I mean, but it's still not cold. Go leave some meat outside in this temperature. Even that little, I don't know. I just don't see it. I do not see it. My logic really doesn't see it. my intuition could probably make sense of it, but it just does not fit. It doesn't fit. Those dogs would have went nuts. Because 8, 6, 8, 7, 8, 8. We got 48 hours, right? Of blood, enough two stab wounds here, supposedly. One to the chest that broke the knife. And it happened behind the shed. Do you know how much blood and body fluid must have come out? I can't imagine that those dogs wouldn't have figured that out. And I could be wrong. I just don't feel that. I do not feel that. The dog, it's almost like the dog situation tells a story. They get out, they're like, oh, everything's fine over here. The second they got out this last time, they were going off. All my hairs are standing out. So they must know this. I mean, I'm not saying it because, like, I'm like, oh, I'm telling them something they don't know. I'm just stating the facts. But I feel like I read, and could be wrong, that it happened behind the shed, and they indeed did remove blood. I don't know if they said blood. I can't remember, but it made me think that they recovered this blood from that area, right? Behind the shed. It must have been substantial, I would think. Why didn't the dogs pick that up? And then why, if he did that, why would he bring the body back and put blood when you're trying to hide a body? I don't know. It doesn't compute. What may compute would be he had plans to do other things, but just could not execute the whole thing. It just doesn't make sense. But what does make sense is how many times the dogs are like, yep, everything's great. Get a search warrant. Sometime later come back. The dogs are going off. Not at one spot, not at 2 spots, not at 3 spots. I think it was 5. That's my intuition. And possibly a 6 maybe on the time when they came back. I wonder if they use luminol. Or had the dog sniff those vehicles. Not sure. And again, they may already have that inkling, but got to work within the confines of whatever arena you work in. And in that case, it's law. So they're bound by certain ways they have to do things on multiple levels. So I just feel like the message here from Kylee, at least where her interaction with me is concerned, is that she my hairs again. She wants the focus to be the baby. That's what she wants. So, however that's got to happen, and maybe they're separated because that's going too far. You know me. I've had clients sometimes. I swear to God, this is a true story. And I'm on the phone with the client. I'm like, I keep hearing the name Susan. She's like, you mean Kathy? I'm like, no. I just was so dumbfounded. I saw 43, I love you. Or love you. I was like, no, that's not even, I was like, no. Maybe if I said Susan and you were like, I don't know, Sharon, I'd be like, well, maybe, but let's keep going and see if, you know, we can't make it fit better. But I was just dumbfounded. And that goes to show you how people want to believe those things because their soul knows it's true, but all the stuff that they've accumulated in here, for the most part, and a lot of the times in here, doesn't let them see through that. That filter's too heavy. The shit they carry around is too heavy. So they'll seek out that sometimes, even when people have no clue what they're doing. I've seen it firsthand a lot lately for some, I don't know, reason. Anyway, if it doesn't fit, the only way to sharpen your tools and calibrate your system is to say, you know what? I'm going to put that over here. And then you make a conglomerate of the things that do make sense or fit. You see what I'm saying? Like a puzzle. Right? It's much better, I think, when you're solving a puzzle, is to put together the pieces that you see fit together, directly together. And then once you have a bunch of them, doop, 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 it kind of just makes itself. But you can't do that if you do the shit we used to do as kids and try to make the piece fit no matter what because you just wanted to win. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't work like that. I mean, it could. I don't know. I'm not even sold on it. It doesn't work like that. It's just not. Humans do those things. Anyway. Does anybody have any questions? Hi. I feel so much more settled now. Now I feel like I can get down to a few things. And I've been on this same subject all day with her and her mom. Because I said, Kylee, I'm like, you're new to the game, and I'm giving you guys a snippet because I say to them all the time, they're laughing. Like, if they had any clue, because it's not that much different anyway. What the hell was I saying? Oh, I said, Kylee, you're new to the game. I'm like, I think it's probably, and this was late last night. I was so tired, but I don't want to give up, especially because I've been doing this since yesterday because I was like, this is crazy. How am I going to say this? So I started with that post earlier about Kylee Monteiro and son because she wants me to frame it that way. I don't even know where I was. Oh, so I said, you know, your mother is a little bit more seasoned. I'm like, maybe things will go faster. And before you know it, I explained like, no, it was longer than that, like a minute and a half. And I'm like, oh, so I could save time. And then I'm like, I'm wasting time, aren't I? And her mom was like, yep. So anyway, we just kept pushing on, but that was one of the funny moments. I'm going to write stuff down. I did write some things down, like, that I should go over, but... Oh, another thing I'd like to say, too. I said in one of my videos on this particular case, I said, the police know what they're doing. I promise you, they know what they're doing. I just want to state that that's not every single case. I go on a case-by-case basis, okay? Not every case is going to have that particular variable. No, they will have that variable, but not... Anyway, not every case will be that case, is what I'm saying. And I'm not saying I have a lot that are good, bad, or indifferent, but I'm just saying it can happen, and that's how people get caught up because they create biases in their own mind. But in this case, and at that point in time especially, it was so, the feeling was so strong that I literally put up that post about soon. I just knew. I knew when they woke me up in the morning. Well, I knew when I got up in the morning and I did the video. I'm like, why am I up doing this shit right now? I'm usually scrolling, drinking coffee, and enjoying the peace and quiet. But anyway, you get my point. And I don't think the person that helped him, I don't think they need Greg to tell him. I'm trying to tell you. They do not need it. And the longer this person waits, the worse it's going to be. I'm telling you, because they're going to make it so tight because he's not saying anything. People are dumb. Like, this is not Judge Judy. This is real life. It's not a movie. It's not. If you do some shit like that, something like that, you know that it's extremely likely, highly likely, matter of fact, that you'll receive punishment. I'm just saying, right? So logic sets in. Logic says, well, there's no wiggle room here. Nothing. So you have a few different options, but your best option would be to take your butt to the police station and tell them what you did so that you can get less time. I'm just going to tell you. I don't care how much CSI you watch. I don't care. It's not. You have to be realistic. You made a mistake, a huge mistake. And now your hands will be stained with that mistake for the rest of your life and your lifetimes. It carries through. So your best bet is to march on over. Get your affairs in order, march on over to the police station, and just let them know what you did and why you did it and how pressured you felt. I don't know if that will help you, but it is the truth. So, you're supposed to do the right thing, right? Blood, honor, and something else. What the fuck? Blood, honor, and something else. Blood, honor, respect? I don't know what they're trying. You need to man up. Oh. I don't know. It's somebody's dad, I think. I'm not sure. He said, I didn't raise you like that. Not you, he said. No. No. The other one, no. I don't even want to explain. I just feel like I need to say the only way to bring honor to the situation is to go and confess what you did. And I guess I'll leave it there until, unless there's anything else. I need to eat something. I also think Thursday, right around the time that those texts were sent, they were from her phone, the first two, right? But it was him. The two after that, the one that says, please call me, I'm really worried about you, that one, right there. They were getting ready to do something. So I feel like that day, that night, they went back. Was it they? Yeah. They went back to where her body was to do something. To have it ready to go. They knew the police were going to be there the next day. And then I think that's when they brought extra clothes or something. And then they burned those clothes in the woods. And like I said, yeah, but that would be the same crime scene if that's it. Anyway, I'm going to end that because that was enough. I feel like I can focus better on the whole picture now that piece. I really wrote, thinks he's slick. Alert police. Purposely seen on cameras, i.e. reservoir. And then he said about the camping. Body not there for a search. Moves back Sunday. Burned to hide what he did because somebody said that he burned her body. And I said in the comments somewhere on one of the posts, I'm like, wow, I knew he burned evidence. I didn't know it was her body. I'm like, okay, I guess that could be considered evidence, but I guess it wasn't. So, but the message is still the same. Burned, because I didn't even write what he burned. Burned to hide what he did. So obviously that's the clothes. And I think he drained her blood. That's what I think he did. And I don't know why. I don't know why I get that feeling. I don't know why. I could be totally wrong about it, but if it happened the way he said it happened, those dogs would have went ballistic. Just like they did the second time. Only difference being it would have smelled more like death, but they wouldn't have ignored it. You're not going to convince me of that. Anyway. On to tomorrow. Let's see what tomorrow brings us, huh? All right, I don't see any questions, I don't think. That was a long one. It's been weighing heavily on my mind, and I didn't know. Yeah, the saying her phone's at 4%, if she dies, it was him. I feel like there's a separation. I said that. Like, they're battling. And all of a sudden, he just stops. It's like he had an idea. Like, I'm going to kill it. I don't want, because you know I can pick up people's thoughts too, and I'm trying to be sensitive about. And he just switched, and it scared her. Because, and maybe he grabbed something, and I don't mean a weapon, but something that would indicate we're leaving. Not sure. Because I would think it'd be too hot for a sweatshirt, maybe his hat or something he always puts on. But it made her feel like, and he didn't say, I'm going into the house. He just stopped, walked, he went into the house. He calmly came back out, almost with his hands in his pockets. And he said, let's go. And she said, where are we going? He's like, for a walk. But it's the way he did it. And I think in between, that's when that happened. Or something to that effect. Because it could even have been after he did that. Because I feel like he was walking in front of her up that road. And she was just dragging her feet a bit. Like, no, this isn't right. Something's not right. Something's not right. But she wanted to believe him so bad. She just wanted a family. And he's a fucking sociopath who deserves everything he's going to get. And that's my final answer. She called him before she went there, right? I don't know. I don't know. I get mixed things about that, and it feels to me like I don't need to know that. So I'm trying to filter out all the not need to know at this point. Yeah, the manure. I still haven't fit the manure in, but actually, listen to the audio. I can't see. Oh, maybe I should do that. Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, that's what I originally picked up in that first video. Something about a vat and something about manure. So, I don't know how it all fits in because my focus now, they do, my energy does that for some reason. It goes to the place that it's going to help the most and get the most, but that's my personality too, even when I do readings and stuff. I'm very efficient. How many times have any of you had a reading with me, and I get so much done that you're like, I don't have any questions. It's crazy, right? Because when I'm on, it's just the way it is. But I picked up the manure and something about pigs the first time. And I don't know. It makes me think of the stab wounds on her neck. Like, what was he doing? It just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make sense. Anyway, yeah, and that's what I picked up it was for. The manure was for the smell. Hi guys. What? How long? My brothers took 6 weeks to come back. Hi guys. Wait. Yeah, I was kind of right about Lori Vallow. I was with a psychopath then. My brain was, it was that, and I was in the thick of it with the Lori Vallow, and she was just as friggin' psychopathic as my kid's father. It was just a shit show. And when I went back and looked like at my notes, and I framed it around what they eventually found, I'm like, oh, now it fits. It fits perfectly, actually. But I couldn't see that. Trust me, I don't even want to, it was hell. It was during COVID and it was hell. But anyway, and I remember thinking I shouldn't do this case right now because I don't think this is the best time. And I said it in the thing too. I was like, I vacillated with this for I don't know how long. Yeah, because they were trying to tell you, dummy. But you want to be a hardhead, right? And you're going to do it. I think that was one of my worst cases, actually. For interpretation and stuff. When I looked at the raw data, yeah, it fit, but I wasn't pleased with that one. But Gannon's case and Vanessa Guillen, and then there's what's her name? Rosa Garcia. I can see the video, but anyway, that was somebody personal. That wasn't even a TV case. That was somebody who needed me. And I happened to do it on a live, and they found her exactly where they said too. It was so weird. I'm like, because the things that pop in my head that are the wildest shit are always on point. I don't know. So they're telling me about the San Andreas Fault. I'm in Massachusetts, right? She's asking me where her I think it was her mother-in-law. Her mother-in-law was. The mother-in-law's missing. Anyway, I'm just going to get to the end because I have to go to the bathroom. She was in between two cracks of rock. But the fault line played in and it was like on a fault. I don't know, but they found her exactly like that. And she would tell you, because sometimes she's in here. But she's got comments on my YouTube channel. Anyway, they literally found her where I said. And I think in that case, that was because I said it. Directly. Yeah, I'm going to be on that. It's because people think they can get away with shit in America because of the way the shit is run right now. It's insane. Insane. Insane behavior. But what do you expect? The ground picks up energy. So if you have a bunch of idiots high-fiving other idiots to do dumb shit, not just dumb shit, but cruel shit, what do you think is going to happen? And you know who suffers the most from that is children all around because they pick it up. They see the parents acting out because of it, so they try to shield it energetically. And before you know it, they're getting their ass whipped or something. Like, seriously. People don't think. They don't get it. Or that, you know what, at this point, that's not a final answer unless you have a mental incapacitation to understand certain things. It's obvious at this point. Oh, well, then be responsible for it. It's not my problem. Let's see if there's any other comments. I could go potty. Well, I don't even know why I made that coffee. Probably out of nervousness. It's not nervousness. It's just like, there's no easy way to say that. But it's the overwhelming feeling I get, and I feel like I'm being disrespectful to her energy if I don't say it, because it's so important. So important. Yeah, I thought that audio, Gina, was a few days before that. That's what the cover of the TikTok said. A few days before it happened. So I can't wait to eat that pasta. Yeah, I did mention something about his shoes. Oh, he didn't think about that. What a dummy. Oh well, they have it now. She tried to represent herself. Yeah, she's just, there's just some people that are, I didn't even want to touch that case because it's just so, I was already dealing with a freaking straight up psychopath, like, but didn't really understand the depth of it. So it's almost like, I don't know, that it made it worse, but anyway. Yeah, but he didn't care. I said it in the first video. He hated her. And it's not her he hated. Something about her reminds him of his mother. And what I mean by that is the complacency, or it's something about the way she is, like, it can come across as like aloofness, if that makes sense. That's why I feel like he was obsessed with somebody else who was not like that. She was assertive. She was she came across as leadership and would take control. You see what I mean? And that's where his obsession came about on that end. The energy was different. The nicer and the more she tried to make him happy, the more pissed off he got at her. And he was getting rid of her. That's what he was doing. But he hated her. And then he hated her that he had to do that. I think he has a thing for, like, against women too. Like, I think for instance, if he could recognize the baby's gender, let's say, hypothetically, if that is even possible, if that was even possible, because I'm not even putting it out there like that, I'm just saying, okay, and he could see it after what he did, he would feel terrible if it was a boy, and not because he has feelings, but because he feels bad for himself in some way. I can't explain it, and I think it's related to that, but anyway, that's just my feelings. Oh, he's evil. The brother is protecting somebody, because that somebody is not evil like him. The whole family knew, okay? The whole family knew this fucking kid was a problem. I'm trying to tell you. His mother, the grandparents, the brother, the sister's spouse, they all did. How about that? Ticking time bomb. I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't hurt animals too, at one point or another. Anyway. Her main focus is her baby. Alright, let me check these again and then I'm going. Alright guys, I'm getting off of this. How long have I even been on this? Oh wow. An hour and 10 minutes. Probably an hour and 11 minutes. We're done. Alright guys, I will update you if I have anything else, but I feel like it might be. You know what's crazy? Because I just saw the 33 under Chantal. I did the same thing when they were going to find Gannon's body. And I called it because it was Melvin's anniversary. They were both found on the same day. And I always do something for his anniversary, so I set this thing up. But life happened, and it just always happens in a certain way. I'm great with divine timing. Before I know it, it was almost midnight, and I said, well, I might as well just friggin' wait till midnight. But in the meantime, I had changed Gannon's photo. If you look at the first 4, I think it's 4 videos. But the point is they're all the same. The last one, I love that kid. The last one is his face. And I changed it on purpose so you guys would know, even though I said it in the video. But I noticed that I did the same thing with Kylie's on the same day. I changed it to, what did I change it to? Her name or Justice for Kylee Monteiro or something like that. But it was different. But I did the same thing at the same, and it's crazy because I know I'm doing it. I'm aware of it because I do it all the time. It's like the way I live. Not even the way I live. It's just the way I am. But it just still amazes me because I just do what I feel compelled to do. And then in hindsight, that's when I take the bits and pieces and look at it and see how it fits together. You get my point. I think I read that right. You thought of something. So I did hear it. But you know me, my brain. Oh, you mean how they try to say you didn't want the baby? That's what you're going to tell me, Gina? Only because I got to go potty and... I didn't hear him say that in the audio, but I could have missed it. And I think he did want a baby. I absolutely think he wanted the baby. No, that's not what you were going to say. Well, I think he wanted the baby. I think he just didn't want the baby with her after, at first he did. But then, my point is he wants somebody to control. That's it. He wants somebody to control. You can hear it in that audio too. But I think when he saw that part, like I said, what the fuck is wrong with you, dude? All right, you guys. All right, message me. I'm going to go get some pasta and go to bed. I will see you guys tomorrow, maybe. Have a good night.